Hello YouTube, it's Terry and welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do a brief video on my latest haul. I know I'm crazy, but this is a haul that I've been talking about for a while. I'd ordered it from Ecuagenera earlier this year. I had been wanting to get plants from them since they have the most unusual and rare plants that you can't really get anywhere else but there. But unless you can go to Ecuador or unless you are fortunate enough to have Ecuagenera show up at an orchid show near you, then you are very lucky to be able to go through their boxes of those wrapped orchids that well, they used to be wrapped, but I had to unwrap them and now they are hydrating. But you are the lucky few that are able to browse through those boxes and get all those gems out of there. I am not, so I ordered and had it sent to Long Island, and my good buddy James picked them up for me Saturday and mailed them to me Saturday, and I got them yesterday. So let me go through them one by one and sort of give a little bit of well, how I plan to mount them or pot them up. Well, let's just start here. This is these two are actually Maxillarias. This one is well, Chacoensis. Chacoensis. This is an Ecuadorian species from lowlands. It's an epiphyte. Doesn't have any fragrant flowers. The flowers are generally single flower, not an inflorescence. Kind of similar to Euphrasyns, which is similar to Variabilis, same type of flower. Do you believe it's a yellow flower? There's that. It's a really nice plant. I'm really not seeing any new growths. Well, maybe that's a new growth. That's trying to mature right there. Yeah, maybe this one too. But anyhow, there's a lot of roots in the moss. Looks in decent shape. Right next to it is Maxillaria fractiflexa, and as you can see, this is a more it's not a small plant. I do believe it can get to be a medium-sized plant, and I would think that this is what the mature pseudobulbs look like. The pseudobulbs don't actually form the bulbs at the bottom, and then the inflorescence come from inside of the leaves. The flower is, well, what I like about this plant is that it's one of those maxillarias where the stems are, the inflorescence come out from the plant, so you can really see the flower really well, as opposed to pretty like this one. And Tenifolia and some of the other ones, Sanguinea, Variabilis, you kind of have to look for the flower. Whereas these, the flower comes out at you on a long inflorescence, and it is a yellow spider-like flower with maybe some green in it, I believe, probably some brown. This does appear to be in very nice shape. Does have some nice roots, seems to be hydrating pretty well. I mean, you can see the roots inside of the glass or the coffee mug. Speaking of coffee, get my Starbucks here. Actually, I'm drinking Lavazza. Anyway, that's that one. Fractiflexa is also from Ecuador and Colombia, from low to moderate altitudes. Can take a wide variety of temperatures from cool to warm, and that's that. Then I've got this gem right here, which is a Bulbophyllum, and let's see the tag. Lindleyanum. You can see there's this inflorescence right there, and it is in flower. Flowers are pretty beat up, but I'm just thrilled to have the plant. Just love it. The hairy flowers just striped on the inside. Very nice thing to have. So, Bulbophyllum lindleyanum is from India and Thailand. It won't get any bigger than this. I believe I will probably mount this whereas I believe the Maxillarias I'll probably pot up in some bark mix. Okay, and so this also likes warm to cool temperatures, year-round water. That's Lindleyanum. So I'm hoping that this one continues to stay viable. It's nice to see the flowers. Then moving on down this way, I have an Epidendrum. There's the name right there, Paphinia. I just might point out, my dogs are being so nice. There's my little monster over there, Prince. If he could get up on this table, I'm sure he would. And it would be eating my plants. Okay, so back to Epidendrum Paphinia, which is an epiphyte. Comes from the foothills of Ecuador and Peru. Gets a lot of light because it likes to hang out in the tops of the trees in low to medium altitudes. Does like the warm to cool temperatures. Blooms pretty much in the wintertime. Of course, get some lessening of water once the newest leaf, once it stops forming, then you sort of lessen the water, and then blooms during the winter. And it does have a sweet smell at night. Pure white flowers. Very nice little thing. Then I've got these Pescatorias over here, and I was interested in, or became fascinated with Pescatorias. A member of my local orchid society, Paul, he bought one of his Pescatorias to a meeting once, and it was so nice. Reminded me of Cochleanthes, but the flowers again came out at you and presented themselves very well, and the flowers were actually very fragrant as well. So from that moment on, I told him that I had to have Pescatorias, and he's gonna eventually give me a division of his one. I believe it's Serina, I believe, maybe, because it was a yellow one. But since then, I have been looking for Pescatorias of my own and saw them at Ecuagenera, so I ordered them. Ordered a couple of them. They had several. This one over here is Wallisii, and I believe both of these plants get white, very heavily textured flowers. They might have been formerly under the genus Bolea, but now they are Pescatorea. Pescatorea wallisii is found in Ecuador and tropical rainforests at low altitudes. So these are somewhat, I don't know, I wouldn't say they are terrestrial because they are definitely epiphytes, but I believe they can handle a little bit more moisture, so I will probably put them in the majority of sphagnum and some bark and perlite to get some drainage. And probably grow them the same as I would my Cochleanthes that I have in the greenhouse. Make sure they don't dry out. But anyhow, they are lowland. Well, both of these are both from the same general area, western Ecuador and Colombia, and these are from the foothills of the Andes in Ecuador and Peru. They are moderate, warm to cool growing, as I've already said, year-round water, and as I said, the flowers are very heavily substanced, very fragrant. So that's those two, white with maybe purple blotches or spots on them, or maybe something in the lip. I can't remember specifically, but again, nice sized plants. Despite the time that they've been in those plastic wrappers, and the roots are looking pretty hydrated today. They've only been sitting in just the sphagnum and a little bit of water overnight, but very happy. Then let me move these out of here, because bring my Paphinias over here. First one over here, this one is Paphinia cristata. A little sad looking thing, but hopefully I can nurse it back. I'm gonna probably eventually cut this off. This is probably not gonna do much, and it is sapping the energy from the plant. Paphinias are this Brazilian species. They're from the rainforest, the Amazon. Excuse me. They do like it a little bit more on the intermediate side, but as long as they get a nice, a cooler wintering when the newest growth is fully formed. They generally bloom after that, so they do like a lessening of water and more cooler temperatures at that time. But they can handle a little bit more heat than strictly being an intermediate temperature plant. I plan to grow these mounted. These are in the Stanhopea family. They produce the flower. It's pendant, as you can see from this, and this is the way that it typically blooms. And the flowers open up like a spider, very vivid colors of red, mostly deep red, and maroon. Some have stripes, and some are pure white. I do believe one that I have is a pure white one. But this is cristata, and this is a red one, again, from Colombia, Brazil, French Guiana, Venezuela, Trinidad. That's that one. Then I got two of these, which is Paphinia Herrera. Again, pretty much the same culture. Will mount these and mount them almost hanging upside down, so that no water gets caught in these leaves, because they are susceptible, as you can see by this one, to same as a Zygopetalum would be to the spotting on the leaves. Again, found in Colombia, Peru, Brazil. And then the last one that I got was this Herrera, is a white one. This Paphinia nudiceri. This is another red one. Still the same, from the same general area in South America, Colombia and Ecuador, Peru, Trinidad. Pendant flower that sometimes emerges from the top and skims over and then goes down, or can go directly down. So it needs to be mounted or in a net pot. Not so much of a long-lasting flower. I had one flower for me which was a hybrid between Paphinia and cristata, and it's called Paphinia majestic, and flower only lasted maybe a day and a half. But I'm so happy to have it anyway. And that is my haul from Ecuador, Ecuagenera. You know, while I'm in the kitchen, I want to point out something. This is first time reblooming for me. Well, first time bloom for me since I've had the plant. The tag is L.C. Hauserman's Firewings Pegasus. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is like a splash petal Cattleya that it's white with the lilac and pink flaring. Then over here is my Encyclia Gorkana that is in full bloom right now. And then over here this is my Serena O'Neill, and I can smell them both from here. It's looking so beautiful. And I wanted to point out my little rescue corner over here, and point out this is a piece of my crazy arachno, my Brassavola, that just fell off. And it happened to be, I noticed that it was actually, it was just emerging from the sheath down here when it fell off. And I said, well, maybe it'll keep going. And I took it and just stuck it in this water, and look, it's gonna flower. Amazing. So anyhow, that's my haul, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your orchids. Bye.